This is the Ninja's Way podcast, where we talk all things ninja industry, ranging from top-tier athletes to the local ninja entrepreneur. Listen to their journey to success as they conquer obstacles in ninja and in life. This is the Ninja's Way. Welcome back, everybody, to the Ninja's Way podcast. This is Tim from Fitset Ninja. He is an accomplished entrepreneur. He's a multi-location ninja gym owner. And so I'm super excited to chat with him about his journey today. Can you take me back to the early days of Fitset Ninja? What were the first couple steps that brought this idea to life? Why ninja in the first place? What kind of challenges did you face during that time?
Yeah, like a lot of ninja gym owners, this was never the original plan. Opening up a ninja gym 10 years ago, I would have never imagined that I'd be doing what I'm doing right now. I worked on a business for 5 years before getting into Fitset Ninja. It was called Fitset Pass, and it was still in the health and fitness world, but it was a mobile app. It was a multi-studio fitness pass for adults where we would partner with local studios and fitness enthusiasts like myself. I was solving my own personal pain point, would be able to book classes at this yoga studio and this CrossFit studio and go climbing over here all under one membership.
Cool.
And after grinding away at that for 5 years and seeing progress, but not actually finding sustainability and real product market fit, I was about to throw in the towel. And we thought our plan was to create mass awareness for our Fitset Pass product. And we set up an indoor obstacle course in a former Sears space at our local mall. We signed a temporary lease for 2 months, and we thought we were going to find these adult customers to come and try this obstacle course. We were going to build mass awareness for our Fitset Pass product, and it was going to get us enough members to keep going. And that's not what happened.
Yeah. So that's super interesting. What kind of connected the dots between this Fitset Pass and the obstacle course? What was the bridge?
Well, a lot of our target customers were adults who were doing Spartan races, Tough Mudders. They were these weekend warrior types, and they were using our products. So we really tried to dial in on our current customer profile and do something that would attract other people like them. But when we opened our doors, we did get those people, but we got families, kids, people who've watched the TV show American Ninja Warrior and were like, oh my God, we can do this in our city. And then we got schools, and then we got people asking us for birthday parties. And in a matter of months, the amount of volume of people that came through our doors and just the satisfaction that I had from seeing people enjoy themselves, having fun, creating memories, the feeling of overcoming an obstacle that they tried again was super fulfilling for me and really validated that, hey, I want to take a step in this direction and see a little bit more into this world. And we decided to phase down the Fitset Pass product and explore a little bit more on the ninja obstacle side.
That's so cool. And I love how that's something that you didn't quite expect led you to something that was so fulfilling for you. But you signed a 2-month lease and it explodes. So then what happens?
It was a lot of learning because I wasn't in this world beforehand. Over those 2 months, I was learning that there's leagues around the world. There's the UNAA, there's the WNL, there's these competitions. I learned that there's groups that are really advocating and pushing for ninja to go to the Olympics. And for me, that was super exciting. I wanted to be part of that. I wanted to play a role in that. And it was over those 2 months that really, I was working on this other thing for 5 years, but in those 2 months, the learning and fulfillment and passion that was developed was what was needed for me to really crystallize my vision of being the team that's bringing ninja into the mainstream in Canada. And yeah, that's exactly what we did. We had to find a permanent location, looking around, knocking on doors, trying to find places to move our stuff. We found a place And over the next year, continued to learn more about the sport,
Yeah.
hosted competitions, built a team around it. And that was 5 years ago.
I got to spend about a year and a half myself in Canada with the mission of helping grow Ninja in Canada. And something that I had saw right away, and I still say this to this day with working with clients, is the soil is so ripe for Ninja in Canada because there's weather, there's all these other sports. They're not like able to do it year round. And so Ninja fills this kind of unique void for Canadians. I feel that this is a really exciting up and coming sport that they can do indoors, and it just blows up in these communities that we went into while we were up there. So how would you describe the culture, the community at Fitset now and today, and how has that kind of differed from the vision of what you started with?
I would consider the culture and community of Fitset now today passionate.
Hmm.
And I would say that because, like I mentioned earlier, it's new in
Yeah.
Canada. It's new in Edmonton. 5 years ago, no one was doing this, which is a lot different from the States where you've been doing this for a while, Allie. There's experienced operators and people that are doing like really big things in the States. Where here in Edmonton, we literally started from an empty Sears store with a bunch of obstacles thrown in there. No tenant improvements. It was rough around the edges. And just the process of learning about the sport, hosting competitions, making a ton of mistakes along the way, learning from it, and just continually learning a little bit more and getting a little bit better to the point where we're at now has instilled this deep passion within our team, not just about Fitset Ninja and the company, about the sport and the effects it has on people. And that is the thing that really keeps a lot of us going, because it's definitely not easy opening up a gym. No one on our team has done this before, and opening up our second location has brought in a lot of challenge, just having never done this before. So the passion that runs through a lot of our team members and our community is definitely the thing that's driving us forward and making this really exciting for everybody.
I spoke to it a little bit of Canada is maybe a couple years behind that like industry curve, right? Ninja's still very new into Canada, and I think that's an interesting thing because in the States when this first started about I don't know 15 years or so ago, it was really entertainment based business, right? It was like the birthday party place or like the drop and play place, right? And the whole industry has really shifted with the emergence of the sports and the leagues and this becoming a much more serious thing. And it's interesting to hear you speak about it because you hopped into the industry when you started as this sport is emerging, right? You guys, a lot of American facilities had to make the shift from an entertainment based business to no, this is a real sport and we're training kids for a real sport. Now it's much more of a coaching type experience instead of just this drop and play. So you speak to it of the sport of ninja being the thing in the gym, right? And that's the experience that we're giving is training these kids for the sport. I'm curious, and that's how we had first got connected was we were talking about a Canadian ninja competition that was going on,
Mhm.
right? So can you tell us a little bit about how you engage with the larger ninja community and how your gym plays a role in that?
Yeah, definitely. The sport part of it is the thing that really excites me. When we first started in that Sears space in the mall, I wasn't aware of the sport. It was that entertainment center where like we opened our doors and hey, come do drop in, come pay $20 and try our obstacles. We were running classes, but it was working on skills. We didn't have the awareness of the sport. So over the last few years and the Canadian Ninja League forming here in Canada as a very new organization, us being involved in UNAA and WNL as like an affiliate gym, it's been really cool to feel like we're having an impact on the development of the sport in Canada. There's 25 gyms across the country, and almost all of them are part of the Canadian Ninja League. And so it's really cool working with those guys and being able to have the freedom as well to put our own creativity and spin on the sport development. There's a structure that they have, but hosting the Canadian Ninja League National Finals in 2023 was just such a great example of how the community can come together to do something awesome.
Yeah.
We championed the event, hosting it here in Edmonton, but there were so many little things that were done throughout the community to make this happen. The Canadian Ninja League obviously giving us the opportunity to do that, but also all of the other ninja gyms. For example, all of the other ninja gyms across the country, there was 6 or 7 of them that shipped their NinjaWorks timing systems to us to use for the event because we had 5 different courses going at the same time. Those NinjaWorks timing systems are 5K USD just for one. And so the gyms are like, yeah, we want to help out. We want to be a part of this. All of the gyms just promoting this as, hey, this is going to be the biggest ninja event in Canadian history, making a big buzz about it. Some local vendors, the sponsorship that was able to come in from our local community, but also from other organizations across the country to make this viable financially. It was a true testament to the strength of the community here in Canada, not just in Edmonton, but the gyms as a whole. So
Sure.
yeah, it was a really cool experience to be able to, we've said we've shaped the history of Canadian Ninja.
Yeah, and I feel like you guys absolutely did. I come from a viewpoint of knowing what it takes to put on those large style organization of all of those events, getting all the vendors, getting all the sponsors, talking to all the people. I love to see you out there. You were hitting the pavement and getting the sponsorships and doing the calls with the people. Was there anything that you learned about maybe yourself through that process of organizing the whole event together?
Oh my goodness. I learned a lot of things. And one of the biggest things that I've learned, I had to learn time and time again, is that the biggest opportunities for growth often come through the times of most challenge and hardship.
Yeah.
And I remember sometimes going through that process of organizing this event, the biggest event that we've ever done, and a massive collaboration. I was handling one part of it, but there were so many different teams within the full team doing the course design and equipment, doing the event logistics. I was handling the sponsorship, vendor relations, all of the volunteer management. There was so much going on, and the complexity and just amount of volume of work put me in a space that I've never been before. It
Mm.
put me at the extreme of my capacity. And what I learned going through that process is just that I need to continue to rely on that mindset that, hey, this challenge, this hard time, this big obstacle that's right in my face is the thing that is required for me to become the person that I need to be to, yeah, lead this company into its next stage of growth, to have an impact on growing the sport here in Canada, to be able to do this again at an even bigger scale. Yeah, that would be the biggest learning that I had about myself is, yeah, really that my capacity and my team's capacity expands at the extremity. And hosting that competition was definitely, it put us in the red zone. It was we were at our extreme.
Something that's I feel really resonant with you. I follow your social medias and your stories, and I just love your effort and intention behind being disciplined, going for outside mentorship and personal development, and these ideals that you share. They're things that I'm always like rooting you on. I'm like, yes, get up at 5:30 in the morning and do the deadlifts. And so I love that. And mentorship and these types of personal development things are really important for entrepreneurs to keep leaning into. Who or what has been your greatest mentor or source of inspiration as an entrepreneur? And what has that kind of helped shape your journey into?
Yeah, great question. And I would say that throughout my life, I mentioned that volleyball was a big part of my life before getting into business. And there were a couple coaches that I had in both college and university that really helped me understand what it takes to be part of a team and to achieve a goal. At that point in my life, the goal was winning a national championship. And just really realizing, I didn't realize it back then, but looking back now, I really understand the importance of leadership and teamwork. Those were the two key ingredients that allowed us to achieve a goal back then of winning a championship, which is like winning the World Series as a varsity athlete. So my two volleyball coaches, Keith Hansen and Terry Danilek, Hansen with Red Deer College and Terry Danilek with the Golden Bears volleyball program, were two really inspirational and key mentors in my life. And then fast forward to the business world, Ali, after going through that sports world, like having a coach was always, it was just, that was standard. That
Yeah.
was normal. And in business, for the first 5 years of business, more than that, 7 years of being in business, I didn't have a coach. I was trying to do this on my own.
Yeah. Yeah.
And looking back, it's easy. It's when you're in it, it's hard. But now looking back, it's super clear. Yeah, my first business, it didn't work. I had failed enough that I actually couldn't get it to sustainability. And that was the whole reason for the pivot. And now into the ninja business, I've really leaned into the fact that I do need a coach. I do need people that can push me out of my comfort zone. I do need people that can share frameworks and strategies and mindsets that actually work, people that have done this before. And so I've really leaned into that. And 2 years ago, I started working with my coach, Dan Martell, who's been just a massive inspiration on the mindset side, but also on the business side, simplifying business and really helping me operate at a higher standard.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dan Martell, his whole thing is buy back your time. And when I was setting up this interview with you, it was like, I got an email from your personal assistant, and I was like, yes, here you are putting that into practice, right? So what are some of those things that have shifted the way that you do business? It could be something simple or a broader idea of having a personal assistant to do some of these other things for you and buying back some of your time. So what do you feel has been the biggest piece of leverage for you there?
Yeah, I'll give you an example because the idea of having an assistant and this, concept of buying my time and really being able to focus my time on the highest leverage things in the company at this point in the company has been a huge level up for me personally. But it has taken me a while to actually get to this point. And even though I've been exposed to this concept for the last couple of years, I hired an assistant originally and it didn't work out. And there was a fear that I had of doing it again and being unsuccessful.
Yeah.
And the more broader lesson that I've learned and I'm trying to implement in my day-to-day life, in my business, in my family life as well, is to lean in to the work that I'm avoiding. And the work that I'm avoiding that I know is there, but I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should do that, or I don't want to get into it, is often where the biggest upside and rewards come from.
Yep.
And I finally, after procrastinating hiring Jessa, my assistant now, for months, for more than months, for a year, I knew I needed to do this and I just put it off. I didn't do it. I was scared. I didn't want it to fail like I had previously. I finally just did it. It was uncomfortable. The training, the work, I got to get her up to speed, all of that type of stuff. But I realized that the work that I was avoiding was the treasure that I was seeking. And it has created such a positive impact in my life in terms of the enjoyment with the work, my organization, my productivity. And I have so many examples of that, and often sometimes need to check myself and say, Tim, why are you avoiding that?
Mm.
Just turn my feelings off, pull up a chair, show up, and do it.
Yeah,
And that's often where I find the most fulfillment and, yeah, positive opportunities that come up.
very cool. I appreciate you sharing that and being vulnerable with that because, yeah, and many times that quote has stuck with me for a very long time as well. I had first heard it from my mentor, which Alex Hermosi, and he was like, the work that you're avoiding stays in your mind somewhere, right? And it just takes up this space. It takes up this mental capacity that it's like you could be putting that energy somewhere else, but because you're avoiding it, it's like it grows in your mind and it grows in your mind until you finally have to do something about it. What do you feel like sets Fitset Ninja apart from other ninja gyms in the ninja industry?
I would definitely say the passion
Mm.
and the team and the desire to do something that no one has ever done in Canada. It's like this blue ocean of opportunity in terms of the business side, but also the sports side. And just for the team having that opportunity in front of us, where it's, you know what? In the States, there've been people that have been doing this for 10, 15 years. The industry has matured to down south. But having this blue ocean gyms and the league and opportunity to create something in Canada that no one has created before really has just created this passion and drive where we feel we can do anything, and not in a way that we want to stomp over or be the only group that's contributing to that, because we don't. We realize a lot of our success so far has come from collaboration, has come from working with the Canadian Ninja League, working with other gyms and our competitors as well. But I definitely say that the team is the big differentiator, the people that have really taken this as important, taken this seriously as an important part of their life, that they feel a responsibility to keep going with this even through the hard times, because they know the potential impact we have on a lot of people's lives.
How do you approach training and development to ensure that your staff delivers this exceptional experience to your clients?
Ali, that's such a great question, and that it even goes back to what I was talking about previously in terms of the work that I was avoiding, because our team has really grown in the last couple years. We've went from 20, 30 staff to now 2 locations, and in the summer, our busy season, we have over 100 people working for Fitset Ninja.
Yeah.
And getting that many people just on the team, everything, we've had to work really hard in terms of getting everyone on the same page, not just in terms of their job descriptions and their role specific duties, but also in terms of the culture and the values of the company. And with that growth, we've had to bring people up in the organization into leadership, where it's no longer just me and a team of others and 7 other people doing this thing. We have an executive leadership team, and we have 2 city-specific leadership teams, and then an army of individual contributors underneath them. So just over the last 6 months, we've really realized that our success as an organization is going to be dependent on the development of the team at all levels. And our approach to training and development, there's the individual contributors and the on the job training, SOPs, things like that, which is the baseline. But what really has been exciting for us is over the last 6 months, doing our leadership development. So in each city, working with both of our teams on leadership principles. And this was something that also I had fear about who am I to run leadership development. I'm just learning leadership as I go.
Yeah.
Yeah, building out a curriculum, learning from others who have done this before. John
Love,
Maxwell, the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. So
love that.
every week we go through one of these, or it's every third week.
Mm.
Every third week in Calgary, every third week in Edmonton. So it's like almost every other week for me because I'm at both of them. We go through one of these principles and just reflect on our own leadership journeys, go through the discussion questions, and we've just had some amazing conversations. And I'm doing this to build the leadership lid of my team. Going through this, I'm learning, I'm getting so much benefit out of it.
Yeah.
And that's for our leadership teams. Just over the last 2 months, we've started doing an all company team training. I call it Tim's team training.
Triple
And we focus on topics that are applicable to everyone and that are personal in nature. So we have people that are, my age, almost 40, that have been in the workforce for a long time. And we have high school students, 16 years old. This is their first job. So I've taken it upon myself to train the team when we're starting out on our core values. Mindset. What is the most important thing about mindset? And how can you foster a positive mindset? How can you foster belief in your day-to-day life? Passion. How can you ignite passion in your own life was the topic we did last week. And things like time management. What are 10 tips in time management? And so I'm really just trying to distill my experience over the last 15 years being part of teams and my experience over the last 10 years of failing a lot, making a lot of mistakes and learning from that, trying to distill that into some bite-sized trainings that I can share with my team that will hopefully add value for them, not just working at Fitset Ninja, but add value for them in their own life.
Sometimes it's funny, you're like, oh, I felt nervous about doing this because who am I? And sometimes you just have to be one chapter ahead to be able to provide that experience to them. And I think it's also providing a lot of value to them as just a human being. Some people are going to grow up through the company, some people are going to grow out. And either way, it's okay. But being able to make the most amount of impact with them, not only with our staff, but with our students, we already have their time. We already have their attention. We should do something really impactful with it. And I think that it's awesome that you're just taking in another deeper layer on the staff development to really help them in other areas of their life and not just being an employee at Fitset.
Oh, thanks, Allie. And yeah, all of this stuff comes from finding a little bit of success, getting to a point where things become painful and realizing, okay, what am I missing now? Why is this pain coming? Why is there misalignment here? Oh, it's me.
Right.
It's me. I haven't set the standard. I haven't created the alignment. And it's every new level we get to creates exposes the areas that are weak that in the end comes down to me. So
Sure.
it's been a crazy learning experience.
Being
And
able to take massive responsibility like that, it is all my fault. And some people can fall into this victim mentality with that mindset. But some people, for me, that once I was able to take that and realize that, oh, it might be all my fault, but I now possess the power to go and make the positive change that I need to be able to change it. And that was always empowering for me. What's one thing that you've invested in, either in your business or for yourself, that you felt was maybe a gamble, but turned out to be invaluable?
oh, this is an easy one. This is the easy one. I invested in myself through coaching, through Dan. I had this blocker when it came to investing in a coach
Mhm.
where I looked at for so many years, it's, oh man, I can do so much other stuff with this money.
Sure.
To invest in myself, it was this blocker. And now that I've done it and I'm able to see some real results in terms of investing in myself, it's just opened up this whole world of opportunity where I really I've started to believe that investing in training, investing in development, investing in coaches is the way to get ahead, is the way to grow your business, to grow your influence, to grow your impact. And it was really hard to understand that in the early days when everything was scarce.
Sure.
You're just getting things off the ground, and I had this scarcity mindset that I just gotta be careful with everything. And as I've adopted this abundant mindset, it's opened up so many doors and opportunities where the investment that I've made in coaching is going to be a fraction of the investment that I want to make next year in my team's development, training, coaching for other people, for myself, consultants, things like that.
Very cool. Let's end with this. What does ninja mean to you?
Amazing question. Ninja to me means growth. It encapsulates all of the emotions, feelings, learnings that come with growth. And it's so cool to be able to see that on the micro level in the gym through people that are coming through. You've seen it before, Allie. You've seen it longer than I have. That magic that people get when they overcome an obstacle. And that has spread throughout my entire life. And so for me, ninja really means growth to me.
I love that. Tim, thank you so much for sharing your insights, being vulnerable with me today. How can people learn about Fitset? What's the best place for them to go?
Amazing. Yeah, they can learn about Fitset on Instagram at Fitset Ninja. They can also follow me on Instagram behind the scenes at tim.gourlay. And yeah, Allie, I just want to say thank you to you for having me on the podcast, and also let you know I am following you. I am seeing all of the things that you're doing. And just over the last couple of years, really spreading this positive energy all around on your social channels, helping people like myself grow, helping people that aren't in this ninja world get some of that magic. So I just want to say thanks to you as well, and make sure I just want to acknowledge you for the great stuff you're doing out here.
Well, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And it was so awesome to have you here on the show.
Amazing.